Hi, you guys. It's Milly.
And it's Tae. And we're back with another episode of Christ and Culture.
Yes.
So, speaking of culture, we're going to talk about cancel culture in a second. We're going to get into some things about that because I feel like this is something that has just become so popular in our generation. Like, everybody loves to cancel
someone.
And I'm not going to even lie. Like, I was top one of cancel mommy back in the day. But, you know. I had
when
to,
you know better, you do better.
Yeah, but now I know better. But, you know, we'll get into that in a second. I just want to recognize we just finished recording the videos that you guys seen a couple weeks ago. And we hired some interns, aka my nephews. I told y'all I was a whole auntie. So it wasn't hard to get
Shout
some
out
interns.
to Ricardo and
Josué.
Shout out to you guys.
Right. Shout
we appreciate it.
Exactly. We appreciate it. And, you know, they came in. We also had Orlando come and take a nap in the background, snoring.
And then woke up just for a nap, for a snack, excuse me.
Right. Just to throw away my expensive plant-based protein milk, but whatever. That's beside the point. They pulled up and they blessed us with the support. So, you know, shout outs to them.
We appreciate it, we do.
You know, hopefully we can truly execute the vision that we have as far as these videos, because they weren't the best with angles. Like,
we got them together. I was real basic with it though. I was when Tae was when Tae was doing her, when it was time for you to do your part, I was like, all right, boom. You know, let's center this camera and get the good background.
That's the problem though, because
basic.
You give them a position, okay, this is what I want on the camera, and then you go to the other person that's recording, and then by the time you get back to the first person, he got a whole different angle.
Out of sync,
like,
out of whack.
So you just want me to keep going back and forth between y'all, huh?
Yeah, so
that's funny.
But then they got it together. We pulled it together. I think we got some good material.
They got tired a little quick on us, but you know, it's okay. They starting off. They young. But Milly learned something really, really important today that she's super excited about.
All right,
as far as angles and, you know, securing the gut in the midst of recording.
Listen, fanny packs have come back. Like, everybody's rocking the fanny pack.
But she didn't understand why.
And I'm like, why? I thought I wasn't gonna be able to rock it. I wasn't gonna be able to do it. But as you guys can see or can't see, sorry, I've put on a fanny pack and I look good. Okay, with the T on the end.
Listen,
no good. Like, I'm feeling like 20-year-old me again. Like,
we recorded a commercial advertising fanny pack, so that may or may not be uploaded.
That may or may not hit your timeline,
right?
but I'm loving it.
Yeah,
I'm in love.
We
right
love
now.
us a good fanny pack. I only have one. I've always been I liked it because of the style, but then once I put it on, like in 2018, I was like, oh, this is covering the girls.
Yeah, I didn't know, and I texted my cousin too, cause that has been her thing. Like, she got a few fanny packs.
Did she answer you yet?
She responded. She was like, "Well, now you know, sis."
Oh, she did. Like, so she was on to the game too.
She knew that the fanny pack is like the quick fix, right? Like, why go to the gym when you can put on a fanny pack?
Literally.
Thank God for fanny packs. Hello.
Literally. I just felt her on. She was like, wait a minute, like, Taisha, where's your gun? She won't go to sleep tonight without ordering a couple.
I'm about to hit up just everything. Amazon, ASOS. If you are a black business and you sell fanny packs, please.
Fact. Let's put some dollars in our own community.
Yeah, if you're doing fanny packs,
there's actually a couple reasons to cancel Amazon, right? As we are getting into the culture of canceling one another, right?
What is cancel culture? What
It's so funny that you asked that because, guys, I'm telling you, we don't even review each other's notes before this. And I actually wrote the definition. Like, I was like, let me pull up.
I Googled it, but, you know, I ain't writing it down.
No, I wrote it down because I want us to all know where we are basing our definition from.
Perfect.
So, according to Google, as you may have seen,
shout out to Google. We love us some Google.
We love the sniff, too. Okay, so Google says that cancel culture is withdrawing your support from something that is considered problematic or offensive. And this is often with a company or a public figure. And as I mentioned earlier, one thing's for certain, two things for sure. I was a top 1 cancel mommy. However, I don't think I'm going to say it was as big as public figures or companies.
I
was just canceling people. You know my Instagram name used to be Don't Blow Mine.
But we're working on it.
Oh, no. I'm not saying I'm like that anymore because I've caught my revelation in regards to that. But there was a time if somebody just blew mine.
If we don't know the New York slang for don't blow mine, it's like don't irritate me, don't annoy me, don't get on my nerves.
Yeah. I was a hothead. And I was easily triggered, I guess. And so the minute I felt like I wanted to withdraw my support or whatever the case may be,
it was what it was.
I was just like, don't.
I was good for that too. My friend Christian to tell you, I was just randomly on Facebook, on Instagram, just unfollowing people, unfriending people.
Yeah, I was good for cutting
for every reason,
off,
no reason.
Yeah, literally. And now, you know, you got me talking like you. The is killing me.
What? The
Yes. Like,
I don't even realize that I say it that much.
I pay attention to idiosyncrasies, and so when editing, it's like, okay, then you really hear these things. But I was good for cutting somebody off, and I'm not saying that I got a huge circle now and that I'm not cutting anybody off, right? It's more so doing it in moderation and more reasonably. But
canceling in moderation. Let's take some notes, people.
No, literally, we need to cancel in moderation because some of us be a little too quick to cancel. But there are good things in canceling.
True.
Yeah.
And I think some cancellations are very justified.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like top 2, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. Top 2 justified cancellation in my eyes. Mm-hmm. I think that we need to protect our women. And if we want to include top 3, let's throw Tory Lanez in the mix.
Ooh! Child.
Let's throw him in the mix.
Because the big debate that is coming up on social media in regards to that. First and foremost, since I've been a Christian, I haven't even really listened to him in general.
I don't know
so like
technically
he was already. I was never really supporting anyway.
Right.
But just like even more now, it's just like, yo,
you're definitely canceled.
This is the thing, right? When I think about the pros of canceling certain things, I feel like this is, in a sense, advocating for ourselves and setting boundaries. And that can be used, of course, when it's appropriate, right? Doing that when it's necessary.
But
I don't think
people, when they think cancel, I don't think that they're necessarily setting up. Well, I understand where that can come from. I think when people say cancel, they're doing exactly what the definition of cancel culture that came up on Google, and that's stopping the support. But I do understand your point. But people, I think, they use it too loosely, too flagrantly. That's not how you say it, right? Where they use it just like, oh, you're canceled, it's canceled.
If that's the word, you done put me on to a new word.
Like, people, I think, use it way too loosely. Mm-hmm. For example, I don't think that Goya necessarily called for a cancel. Like, yes, the president of the company loves him some President 45, but at the same time, like, we all grew up on the Goya, and it's not like the product itself is, it's not like when we cancel R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying, or Bill Cosby, where we sort of have to, which are complicated still to cancel because we have to separate the artist, the actor, the musician from the person, from Bill Cosby, from Robert Kelly, from Tory Lanez, who have committed heinous, disgusting crimes against multiple women, right? And so, I don't know. I don't think every cancel is. That's why I think people just use it a little too loosely. And we need to be careful with who we cancel and how we cancel.
I'm going to circle back to the whole Goya and 45 situation. But when I say establishing that tolerance, the boundaries, I'm saying like, okay, when we think of it in the perspective of like companies that we support, if they explicitly go ahead and say Black lives don't matter or, you know, things like that, then that shows that they do not respect you. They do not care for your people. They do not stand for what you believe in, you know? And so setting that boundary, like I cannot support a company or a person that blatantly disrespects me and like who I am and my identity. And so like, I think that's the pro of cancel culture in a sense, only because we are good for putting money in the pockets of people and companies that do not care for us. And I think that we have a history of doing this. And instead, the reason why that's a beauty is because then we begin to look for our own companies. We look for our own industries and start investing in ourselves and our own Black businesses. So I think that's the pro.
I don't know, have you seen it's like a meme or, I don't know, an image I've seen on Instagram on various of occasions when it says, is it Black owned is the new who's all over there, you know, because that's what we look for, you know. We're going to go out to eat. We're going to go do something. We want to buy a product. You know, who's selling fanny packs? Like, is it who am I going to buy my fanny pack from now? Like, not Jeff Bezos. Like, I don't know if I want to get it from him.
You definitely just said he was about to go on Amazon.
But so, you know, we're going to retract that and put money into the pockets of
that's a fact.
people of
and
our
you know
community.
what? That's actually something that we have to be more intentional about whenever we even think about making a purchase. Like, we have to normalize that idea of like, wait a minute, let me go to a Black business before I go to Amazon or go to Walmart, etc. Yeah,
it's tough.
It is. But again, right, that was a pro. I also think there's a con. I believe that if we're not careful, exactly,
we're gonna cancel everybody. Everybody's past doesn't represent them.
Yeah, I think that if we're not careful, we're going to forget that at the end of the day, we all are humans.
We all make
mistakes.
And
that we have to give grace to one another. And that's a part of the mandate that we have here on this earth in general.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
An example from the Bible is in Matthew 7:2, where it says, "Judge not that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." Right? I think as humans sometimes we're a little bit too quick to judge, too quick to cancel. We judge way too harshly.
Yeah.
We can be unkind and just not nice to people who probably have gotten over, the president of Goya, for all we know, could really, a year from now, a month from now, a week from now, could really say, I messed up, or he could change his opinion. And we looking just on the outside, boom, you said that, it's done. It's a wrap for you. It's a wrap for your company. And I don't think that the Bible tells us, look how harshly you're judging this person and what they did. That's how harshly you're going to be judged. That's how harshly, wow.
That was heavy. That was loaded. Yeah. And a lot of us aren't even ready to hear stuff like that, but it's just the truth. Like, we have to be mindful of these things. When you also read John 7:24, and I'm reading from the New International Version, it says, "Stop judging by mere appearances, but instead judge correctly." And when you read other versions, I believe it may be the English Standard Version or the King James Version, it says, "Judge by righteousness." Instead of judging things by what they look like, we need to judge based on their righteousness and whether they're not aligned with what God says. And just we don't know what things look like in the back end. It's just like when you look at relationships on social media. Everything looks cute on social media, but you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. And I believe that the same is true for many of these things. When you look at the Goya situation, and he's in support of 45, so now we want to cancel Goya. The reality is also that, first of all, I think it was Prophetess Tiffany Montgomery that said, don't vote red because they said and blue because it's true, or something like that. We are too devoted and
to these political parties.
When these political parties are not devoted to us. I want to get into the whole Joe Biden support from the Obamas and how they basically canceled Trump, because
Michelle Obama can.
And first of all, I thought it was strange for her to even come out and say such a thing, because I've never heard her spoken that way. And so it's like, whoa, like, all right, you're really going hard for Joe. But the reality is also that, like, you know, this whole Pizzagate situation and like them playing a role in like child sex trafficking and all of these things, like they were allegedly on the email list. And I actually saw so many people started to wake up and notice these things and are looking at the Obamas funny a little bit. I know a lot of people, you know, see them as their forever president, but at the same time, like, we have to remember, we cannot judge based on mere appearances, and we can only judge righteously. And the only way to do that,
I haven't seen no emails personally, and I don't know, just looking at things on the outside, looking at things just simply from, like, just the surface of things, like you said, like, we don't know the back end of any of the like more personal situations that these people have gone through, and why they probably say or have done some of the things that they've said and done. Right? I think we really need to do our research, especially in like the political arena. I think we have to dedicate like just a whole episode to, you know, voting, not voting, who you're gonna vote for, because men will always fail us. Right? Like, the word tells us that too. Like, men will fail you. Men will fail you. We cannot keep our eye on man. We have to look towards the Most High.
And when she says man, she's talking about humans.
Yeah, humans.
Honestly, it's simple. It may not seem like it, but it kind of is. Go to God.
Period.
God, what do you have to say about this? At the end of the day, the political parties, neither of them, they are not representatives of the kingdom. So they don't got God's backing with, you know, their beliefs. And so we really just have to go to God and ask him, God, what do you think concerning this? Does this deserve to be canceled, you know? And that's just something that we just need to normalize in our everyday life. The Bible says in Psalm 32:8, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. And so if we seek God's counsel and his wisdom, he'll give us divine direction on what to pursue. If you're going to trust anybody, it's God. It should be God, you know? Proverbs 3:5 says, lean not on your own understanding, but God's. And I think that that's something that we need even more during this time, because everything is so deceiving. Appearances, our hearts, our minds, everything is very deceiving.
Everything's up in...
I'm just thinking of Wizards of Waverly Place, that song. Mind you, I never even watched that show. Like, I cannot recite an episode to you, but I'm thinking of that theme song where it was like, everything is not as it seems. I don't know anything else, but I just know that line. Everything is not as it seems. That's what's ringing in my head as I go through this episode right now. Everything is not as it seems, and we need to.
That's like another example is about the adulteress in the Bible. We see in John 8:1-11. Where these men, they take this woman, this supposed adulteress, to Jesus. And Jesus is, you know, all I could think of is, so where's the man that she was cheating with, right? Or fornicating with? why is only she being judged, right? And so that's one thing that I think, you know, we do all of the time as well, right? Like, there's always two sides to a story. Yeah. And then none of these men, you know, Jesus stooped down, it says, and started writing on the ground with his finger. When they persisted in questioning him, he stood up and said to them, "The one without sin among you should be the first to throw a stone at her." Then he stooped down again and continued writing on the ground. When they heard this, they left one by one, starting with the older men. And in verse 10 says, when Jesus stood up, he said to her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" "No one, Lord," she answered. "Neither do I condemn you," said Jesus. "Go, and from now on, do not sin anymore." Right? Mm-hmm. And so I think cancel culture, again, is way too harsh. We're judging others sometimes without real reason to judge them.
It's a fact.
And knowing that God can change us, right? God can change our hearts. I do think some cancellations are justified. Yes. But as people, you don't have to be evil to other people at the same time.
Yeah. Like, literally. It's really just about discerning when it's the appropriate time to cancel something, because not everything deserves to be canceled.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goya, you know, we'll see. You still got Goya in your kitchen?
I do.
Do I have any? I think I do have some Goya too.
I didn't cancel culture. Didn't cancel culture. I didn't cancel Goya. As a matter of fact,
R. Kelly canceled to me though.
Oh, no,
He's a predator.
He literally...
And he might could change. And
no, listen. Listen to me.
No, stop, listen.
He can, right?
Yeah,
he could change. But he literally is in denial. What's that video? Talking when he fighting for his life.
The one with his interview with Gayle King.
He's in denial.
He doesn't think he's doing he didn't think he was doing anything wrong.
In the Bible verse you literally just read, Jesus went and told them, "Don't do it again."
And how many women did he's destroyed so many lives. He has traumatized so many women, and there's just some things I don't know. It's gonna take me forever to forgive. Right? Or, you know, and God is working on me. But it just takes a longer time to understand the mind, the heart of somebody who can hold somebody else captive against their will. You know? The whole Aaliyah thing. I don't know if you saw the actual, what's it called? The documentary.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but seeing it was really just so much beyond the physical abuse. The psychological abuse was just inhumane. Yeah. You know, he tried to make himself God over those women. Literally. And that's vile. Yeah. That's vile and not understandable for me, you know.
Again, I don't have a heaven or hell to judge anybody, right? But I will say, like, that's just somebody I wouldn't support. Like, I think that is definitely fits the definition with being problematic and offensive. Now, am I offended? Like, this is completely different, right? But am I offended by somebody supporting Trump? I may not agree with them.
And they could offend you because...
And they might... I don't agree with them. And I definitely don't agree with somebody that is a Biden supporter either, because it's like, I mean, I don't trust either of them. Like, I do not.
You said that to me before, like.
I don't, you know, and I don't, and mind you, I don't. Yeah, literally, I don't think either of them. I don't think anybody is true that I know is truly a Trump or a Biden supporter. Anyone that I'm close with, at least. But.
This election's gonna be tough.
Oh Lord, it is.
This election's gonna be tough.
It is. Picking the lesser of two evils is where we're at this point.
Yeah.
But would I say I'm offended by somebody that supports Trump? No. And this is coming from somebody who cried the first time I was literally, it was 2016. I'm on campus. I'm watching the elections from my phone, and I literally started crying because I was like, damn, this man is about to win. This man is about to win.
That was me. When I saw that he was winning, my belly was all big. Well, I went to bed. I said, I'm going to stay up. Let's see what's given with Trump's numbers, Hillary's numbers. And when I saw that he was like taking a lead, I remember my heart just really sinking like to my stomach.
And I feel like we're honestly probably gonna have the same sentiments this election, just with either which way.
Yeah.
Because
this election's gonna be tough,
feel like,
and definitely.
Yeah, I feel like Biden. No, child.
I think he's the lesser of the two evils for sure, or at least I don't know. Trump just wears it on his chest. You know, anti-Mexican, whatever that means, you know. And he comes up just a little bit ignorant, you know, just a little bit ignorant. It's sad that there's so many people who not sad that so many people that surround me are more intelligent than him, but he seems like a very irrational man. Not a very,
What I will say, and this is actually really sad, but I think that the way our generation is set up, everyone is so lazy and comfortable that because Trump was put on the platform that he was put on, it did cause many people to start advocating more and becoming more vocal. And it is sad that it have to take someone like him to be in office, but I think that like things like him being in office, and unfortunately it has to take a death like George Floyd for people to advocate, it did spark a fire. And I don't want the fire to burn out when someone like Joe Biden, if someone like Joe Biden comes in office and is just implicitly racist. Like, is everyone still gonna be on the bandwagon of advocacy and, you know, not
Black
allowing...
Lives Matter.
Yeah, because when the early 2000s, racism, it went above my head. I don't know about yours, but I didn't know that this was still a thing. Like, I don't think they really did a great job teaching me this thing in the schools. And again, I went into schools that had predominantly Black and Latino kids, so I didn't know any white kids. And I feel like
white people I knew were my teachers. Like, I didn't know any white kids.
Yeah, and they were not having they were teaching me Christopher Columbus Day. They were not teaching me Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. And so I'm wondering...
So much has changed.
Yeah, I'm wondering... Well, the kids nowadays, they know about racism. This is a conversation. And I'm wondering, is it a conversation because of who's in office in the next set of years?
I don't know. In this, I'm sure there's various reports on how, from the sociological aspect, how everything is in place now for there to be this revolution. This this spark of, this fire that you say that you don't want to burn out, of racism being there, because it's a system. It is a system. Black people make up 30% of the population of the United States approximately, but make up 75%, 80% of the people in prison. How? And so we have a president like Trump, right? So this is, I guess, one aspect of, the revolution. We have a government, we have the head of government, or the representative of the head of the government of this country, who's like, yeah, they are bad people.
But my question is, with having someone like Joe Biden as president, will we reach the peak of that revolution?
I don't think so.
Or will people go back into the shells of a turtle and mind their business?
I don't think so. Again, implicit racism and the
people were not saying much when racism was beneath the surface.
Right. But that's only because, again, we have the racist president, and we have all of these videos every week, every day. Black man shot in the back, by police. But Black men killed.
This is nothing
and so
new.
It's still
this
there.
This was always happening. When I was a
kid,
it's
so many things going on at the same time, right? Like, even I think with the president like Joe Biden in place, That's not going to stop people with their camera phones. That's not going to stop the Black Lives Matter movement, you know. And social media might die down, but I think the actual people who are at the forefront, at the organization, you know, at the head of organizations.
I'm not discrediting that.
They keep it going, and I don't think that a change in president is gonna die it down. What dies it down is us not posting it on social media.
But that's the problem,
not continuing
though, because
our research.
Not everyone is, you know,
looking to, you know, keep it going. Right. Some people just ride the wave. But this is...
We got too many wave riders. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. That's really what I'm getting at.
That's another thing, too.
Yeah.
For sure. But
either way, I think as far as the presidency, I think we're relying way too heavily on our own judgment and not seeking enough divine support, because God can see what we can't see with the naked eye. And we really...
And it doesn't matter who's president. God is still king. He's still God.
Of course.
You know?
That's a fact.
So I think that's where we have to... That's where our prayers have to, like, definitely include that. Yeah. Like, you know, who I'm going to vote for or not vote for. But God, please, you be the lead. You be who's guiding that person, who's guiding governmental institutions, you know, on the city level and state level, to do the right thing, to do what's correct for the people.
100%.
We veered off the cancel culture.
No. I want to get back on track. So someone from the Christ and Culture community asked, and you too can be featured on the show if you send in or respond to our questions on Instagram or on Facebook. But someone asked, what do we do with the person's work once they are canceled?
So like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, this person said Bill is funny.
That makes it even more difficult, right? But just like the word says, to judge not by what we see, right? But by righteousness. Is Bill Cosby's work, you know, so reprehensible now because of what he's done? I think it depends on how sensitive you are to, you know, maybe somebody who's been in that situation, a very similar situation where they were drug raped. They won't find, I wouldn't find him funny anymore. I wouldn't find him funny at all. You're not funny to me because of what you've done to me, right? But I think it's hard to draw that line. It's hard to pick a side or another, separate Bill Cosby the entertainer from Bill Cosby the man who committed those actions.
I think it really should be rooted in, okay, you've done this. I'm not going to sit here and stone you, but I'm also not going to put money in your pocket so that you can continue doing the same thing to other women.
That's why, like R. Kelly's music, for example, I think they took it off, like Apple. They've taken it off of streaming platforms.
We have to be careful with knowing who we're giving a platform to. Mm-hmm. We just need to be careful with what we are endorsing and who we give a platform to, and doing it in moderation, because I feel like, again, if we're not careful, it can spiral out of control. I know for me, like, even though I did it more on a micro level, like, you just become like Oprah, where she said, you can get this and you can get that and you can get the third. I was just like, you can get canceled and so can you and so can you. And that's dangerous too. And I feel like that's the direction we're heading into as a society. And I also think about, like, the kinds of screenshots. I'm queen for screenshotting stuff, like screenshotting memes that I resonate with, and I try not to do it as much anymore. I try to just repost it and, like, keep it pushing, because I will hoard my phone with screenshots. But I look at, like, some of the old ones that I had, and it was just like, girl, like, who hurt you? Like, I was really that girl that would screenshot the stuff that would be like, oh yeah, like, cut them off, forget them, keep getting your money, and, like, you know, like, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, yo, okay, you can get your money or whatever the case may be, but it's like, you really gotta cut everybody off in the process. Like, that's
I don't think that's something that I've really, really struggled with. So that's why this whole cancel culture thing, like, if it doesn't pertain to, like, a huge celebrity or somebody who's really well known, like, I'm not beasting. You know, just because I feel like people just do it too willy-nilly. Like, y'all beasted.
Yeah.
I
remember
that's how I feel
my
about.
best friend, we used to be up on the 31st talking about, oh yeah, I'm getting a new phone number and you're gonna have to jump through all these hoops to get it.
Right.
Like, that really used to be my vibe for a couple years.
Mm-hmm. And it's not about having a standard, right? Because
Yeah.
we don't want to not have a standard.
No, of course not. But it was really just like you changing your number to like cancel all these people for the new year, when that's not, if you're gonna cancel somebody, well, for me, right, and I'm talking to myself when I say this, why am I waiting until the 31st of December to just be like, and putting people on a free trial for January? Like, this.
Some people deserve the cancellation, for sure.
Yes, but it don't move on all right, you have your subscription ends on the 31st. It's like, if you're getting canceled, you're going to get canceled because you seriously did something that was just out of line, and I just don't want to have anything to do with that. Versus just like, I don't agree with what you said, I'm going to cancel you. Like, that's not a valid reason to really necessarily say cancel. And the thing is too,
it's like when you have friends, right? And you and your friends might not have, like, we might not have the same opinion about cancel culture. But does that mean I'm be like, well, listen, I don't like you no more. That's it. That's all. You're canceled. I'm changing my number so you won't have it anymore. Like, and that's how I feel like people do it, you know? Real just like, yeah, you're canceled now.
There are couples that have different political parties, but they're married, you know? And that's how...
I don't know if I could do that now.
Yeah, that's yikes.
Yeah. I don't know.
That is very yikes, even though I think both of them in this particular day and age is both trash. Not feeling Republicans, not feeling Democrats. Independent party over here.
Oh.
Child. Yeah.
We shall do better, hopefully, right? And like you said, you know, you're going through your transformation because that was your vibe, that was your attitude. But look at God working through us.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't have to cancel everything and everybody when you disagree with them.
Yeah.
And we can't just cancel everybody and their moms just because they, you know, just cause that's how we feel.
Or just because we don't understand them or something. Yeah.
I think about like the whole Jordan Sparks situation.
I actually don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, she apparently slept with or had something going on with one of the Kardashians. I think Khloe it was. You know.
She slept with Khloe?
No, with her man.
Wait.
I don't know if she slept with him. I don't know.
Is Jordan Sparks married?
No, I don't think so.
She did.
She was the little ones. No, I don't think so.
Oh, you talking about Jordan Woods?
I'm talking about Jordan Sparks.
No,
I'm saying Jordan Sparks when I mean Jordan Woods.
You mad annoying for that, yo. Because I was really like, what did Jordan Sparks do? We're birthday twins. Like, what?
You know, but the whole Jordan Woods situation, like, I feel like, so many women have been in that situation, right, where they might, you know what I'm saying, they slept with or flirted with the guy who's in a relationship. Though. We all know I wasn't there.
That's true.
And secondly, like,
by appearance, she did.
Right. And secondly, like, is that my business really? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not friends with them. Like, I don't have... People are so invested in that whole situation. People are so invested in it.
People are overly invested in things that have nothing to do with them.
Or their real life.
That's the problem with gossip, too. Like, just like with the whole entanglement situation. Apparently, like, August, like, only talked about... Well, that was only a portion of his entire
interview.
He talked about different things, about all that had transpired with him becoming a parent and losing family members and all these things. But all people took away was that entanglement situation. Like you said, you made a really good point about being way too invested in... other people's business.
Yeah. I think that's why cancel culture is like so like for me, because I ain't beasting, like.
Yeah. And you know what's the sad thing too? I just think that this generation, like, they've canceled God without even knowing it, low key. Like, I think they've
It's
canceled
so
the Bible.
Yeah.
Because they are a little afraid of the bow that God got for them. You know, your parents, when they the Bible will discipline you.
That's a fact.
And
Hallelujah. You read something, you be in church sometimes, and you be like,
you feel it in
who
your
told you my
whole
business?
Spirit. And I think that, like, with our parents, right, like, we didn't like when they came and gave us a pow, whatever the case may be, but they disciplined us, or, you know, in their way, so that we can do things correctly for our future. And I think the same is true when it comes to God and when He disciplines us. And many of us, we don't want to hear it. And in doing that, we cancel the Bible. And in canceling the Bible, you're canceling God. And so, listen,
disobedience that's not His doing. That's us.
That's a fact.
When you disobey, it's on you.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know the name of the two, but two of, I think, Aaron's sons. Aaron was anointed by God. He was chosen by God to light His fire and, you know, keep, I think, a temple up and running. And his two sons only did that while they were with their dad. We were reading about, we spoke about it in discipleship this week. Mm-hmm. But they went and offered a strange fire to God.
Yeah.
He killed them. But that's because they went tried to go above the authority that was above them, mm-hmm. right? An authority placed by God, one. And then two, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Right? And so I don't know, I think a lot of people, we have to respect authorities at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we can't pull a Michelle Obama and try to cancel the president either. Mm-hmm. Right? We can disagree. Because
at the end of the day, they're leading our nation, whether we like it or not. And literally, all we can do is pray for them. Mm-hmm. That's literally what the Bible tells us to do as well. That's it. Pray for your leaders. I may not agree with Trump in many of his beliefs. And honestly, sometimes I may listen to him speak and it may make me want to giggle. But I have to pray for him because at the end of the day, he's leading this nation. And the decisions that he makes directly affect me, my family, my peers, my colleagues, everybody. It affects us all. We can't, it's not as easy as throwing the Goya can in the trash.
Hello.
Like, you gonna throw America? You about to go to Canada? Where you going? Because many people said they were moving in 2016, and y'all all still here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that and this comes with discipline. There's somebody that's gonna feel this in their spirit mm-hmm. right now, and it's like.
It comes with discipline and recognition. Yeah, it's recognizing.
It's like when you're a kid and you're Honduran and your parent tells you, "Cipote, venite para acá."
Okay.
Right now, we're cipotes de Cristo, and he's telling us, venite para acá. Okay? And
have a seat. Mm-hmm.
And for those of you that don't know what cipotes are,
a child.
It's a child. And depending on where you read on Urban Dictionary or whatever you use to find out what cipote mean, it might tell you dumb child, right? Yeah, even though that's not necessarily the context we use it in, but like it's just like a child that literally doesn't know any better. And I feel like we're cipotes de Cristo. Like
He's trying to get us situated.
He is trying to get us all the way together.
He's trying to get us to act right.
Yeah, he's trying to tell you, listen, I'm going to let you know when you need to cancel something.
Yes.
Consult me first.
Before we do anything.
Yes. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode and
felt this and learned something.
I hope that as you go forward in making decisions about what you're canceling, you're doing it in moderation. We're not just going to cancel things left and right because we got our feelings hurt. Mm-hmm. Because I already told you, there's one thing's for certain, two things for sure. I was top one, but I'm telling you right now, don't get your panties in a bunch, okay?
And really think about who you're canceling, why you're canceling them.
Yeah.
And is it worth it?
You see how I'm really starting to talk like her? Because I'm really saying, you know.
Is the cancellation of the situation worth it? Yeah. Amen?
Amen.
So if you want to reach out to us about the cancel culture,
or anything, your thoughts on cancel culture and your takeaways from this episode. What are your thoughts on cancel culture? Or do you resonate with what I say in regards to being a top one cancel mommy or papi?
Or does it go over your head like me and it just don't matter to you like that? You're not piecing about it, like I said. Holla at us on Facebook.com at Christ and Culture Podcast.
Instagram at Christ and Culture Podcast.
Or you can email us at
christandculturepodcast@gmail.com. We'll catch you guys next time on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.